Yes, sirree. I'm not freaking blind, guys. It's Gweilo style.
I think it's Thursday.
You could die.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Geez, you know. Oh yeah, because it goes on and on and on. For all you haters, there's something to chew on for the next couple of minutes. Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. Everybody knows that watches my videos that I have an uncanny way of finding beautiful Chinese backgrounds, and it's just one of those things. And they also know that I'm opinionated. They also know that I pick both controversial subjects and sometimes boring subjects, because when you're talking about eating in a restaurant, or you're talking about how beautiful a place is, some people, you know, political has more spunk to it. Well, this video is not going to disappoint you. I'm usually pro-China, but this time I'm going to take the other side of the road for once. How dare the Chinese government make a law banning terrorism? Yeah, they just brought in, well, the main parliament of the People's Republic of China brought in legislation. Well, it hasn't been enacted yet. It'll take about 2 months for it to be enacted, but basically the framework is there to make it illegal to be a terrorist, a separatist, or a subversion. You know, and what is subversion? Well, you know, I have these. Let me tell you the definition of both terrorism and subversion. Everybody knows what separatism is. So, and I actually copied it from a dictionary so I wouldn't get it wrong. So terrorism, let me read this to you. The unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. Okay, so when you're looking at a place like Hong Kong, where they burnt a civilian, they killed another civilian with a brick. They intimidate people so they can't go on the subways. They intimidate by blockades people so they can't go to work, make a living for their families. They intimidate people so they can't get on airplanes at the Hong Kong airport. So how dare you make a law that protects your citizens against terrorism? What's the matter with you people anyway? Oh, and then you go over to the United States, and they've had laws against terrorism for a long time. But because they enact these laws against terrorism for Hong Kong, well, now Hong Kong is no longer an autonomous region of China. It no longer deserves the special treatment that it gets from the United States. Probably the UK, Canada, all those guys are going to follow along because they are sheep, and we know that. Being a Canadian, we apologize for being sheep. Oh, it's our way. It's what we do. But you know, the idea that they're going to take away that you know, the special economic rights. Actually, the United States is talking about taking away the visa rights for Hong Kong citizens, people. Well, they're really Chinese citizens, but they've been carrying a Hong Kong passport since forever. But you understand what I'm saying. And if you make a law to ban terrorism in your country, in Hong Kong, and how dare you for doing that, then what we're going to do is we're going to enact another Chinese Exclusion Act that's going to exclude your young people from coming to our secondary education institutes for further study. Yeah, unless you have lots of money, and then we'll head tax your ass. You know what I mean? Okay, let's move on to subversion. And yes, I went to the dictionary once again because I didn't want to screw it up. So you guys understand exactly what I'm talking about. Subversion definition. Subversion is the attempt to weaken or destroy a political system or government. See, and this is exactly what's going on in Hong Kong at this time. You've got terrorist activities going on, intimidation of the civilians of Hong Kong. You've got subversion. You've got people like Jimmy Lai trying to basically overthrow the Hong Kong government. You've got a number of other people there. And you have foreign entities in Hong Kong doing exactly the same thing. And part of this new law structure is to ban that, to make it illegal for foreign entities to be able to subvert, to be able to be part of this. So in the United States, the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, whoever it may be, send their particular agents in to subvert the government of Hong Kong as a city government. Used to be a special autonomous region as far as the United States is concerned, but it is no more, I guess, you know, because that's what the Don said. You know, the knee-jerk reaction of the American government, and you see this over and over again. China will sit back and it'll watch things. China will sit back and be patient, understand what's going on. Can they do it in a better way? How is the best way to deal with a problem like this? Then after, you know, it's been about a year been going on, guys, then they'll say, okay, well, we've tried everything else. We've got to do something like this, where it takes the Americans about a day until Don gets his gander up and away he goes and starts tweeting and shit like that. And yeah, there's two sides to this park. There's the riverside and then there's the other side, and it's a beautiful place. It actually is. And this goes on for about 18 kilometers on this side. And then on the other side of the river, it does the same thing. It's beautiful. But that's not what this video is about. The idea that Hong Kong has been held hostage to a bunch of radical people riding the streets. And I watched a clip the other day. I'm not even sure who it was from. And he said, what freedoms are the Hong Kong people demonstrating to get? Do they have the freedom of speech? Do they have the freedom of mobility? Do they have the freedom? Actually, I think they were the number 3 most free city, autonomous region or region in the whole world, where the United States was number 17. But yet, they ride in the streets. Do you think it's not about freedom? Maybe it's about attacking, belittling, undermining the Chinese government. Okay, well, as soon as they bring in these terrorist laws, and that's what they are, they're laws against terrorism in China, in Hong Kong, to protect their citizens from this activity. Okay, and the response from the rest of the world is, how dare you? Sounds like Greta, for frick's sakes, you know what I mean? But how dare you? And in response, we're going to cut off the autonomous region of Hong Kong and all of their economic trade, what did they even call it? They're going to cut off all of their economic trade benefits from the United States because of this. Well, this is going to help the Hong Kong people, or is this going to make it harder on the Hong Kong people? See, Donald Trump does not give a rat's ass about the people of Hong Kong. What he needs is an enemy of the people of the United States that he can rally against to get reelected as President of the United States. That's all of it. That's everything. It's a one-liner. I could have made this video in one line. Jesus Christ, that wouldn't have been very much fun. But you see, it's a one-liner, and that's all he's interested in. And all the Republicans in the United States are interested in the same thing: re-election of Donald Trump. They don't give a rat's ass about China. They don't give a rat's ass about Hong Kong. They could give a fiddler's flying fuck about anybody but themselves. So what's going to happen in the short term? in Hong Kong tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. Well, you're going to see more riots. You're going to see more demonstrations, because they've got about a 2-month window before this legislation actually becomes law. All right, well, that's fine. So they're going to riot more. They're going to vandalize more. Hopefully they won't burn more people or kill more people with bricks. Maybe they'll try to push the rhetoric a little bit more, like the Jimmy Lays of the world, and asking the CIA, asking the Trump government to help them, because if you don't help us in our quest for freedom from China, then we can't do it on our own, because, well, he's got $1 billion, so he could probably pay for it, but you know what I mean? So Jimmy says, yeah, you guys got to help us. And he took out a full-page ad in a Hong Kong newspaper and actually says this. Is that subversion? Is that inciting terrorism? Is that inciting foreign entities to subvert the Chinese government? Well, I would imagine it probably is. Jimmy might be up on charges fairly quickly after these laws, but is it retroactive? Wonder. If he does this now, and they bring the law in 2 months, is he still guilty of that? It depends on if they bring it in retroactive or not. We'll have to wait and see. In the long run, how is this going to play out? Over 2-3 months after the law is enacted, well, these rioters, these people that are committing the civil unrest in the city of Hong Kong, the used to be autonomous region of China, as far as the United States is concerned, will be facing some pretty big charges, because as everybody knows, terrorism charges in the United States, Canada, everywhere around the world carries a pretty hefty jail term. And so are they going to be able to go out and do this thing, knowing that if they get a little bit of money from whatever government entity that they are getting it from, or from whatever person, whether it be Jimmy Lay or whoever it is that enough for them to go out and risk the rest of their lives sitting in a frickin' jail? I doubt it. So this is going to stop them dead in their tracks, and it's a good thing, because after 2-3 months after this law is enacted, the people of Hong Kong can go to work and not worry about things. They can show up at the subway and know that the subway is open. They can drive down the street to their place of employment, get groceries, pick up their kids from school, whatever, knowing that that road is not blocked by a bunch of people wearing outfits that look like they're ISIS fighters. You know what I mean? People can get on an airplane and go places knowing that the airport is open. Why? Because the government of China has stepped in and made it possible for the citizens of Hong Kong to have a normal, safe, reliable life. Not like it is now, and not like it has been for the last year in Hong Kong. And this is why these laws are being enacted. And how dare you, China, for enacting terrorism laws in a place like Hong Kong, where the citizens are being taken advantage of, are being intimidated, are being killed, are being burned, are you know what I mean? Like, and then you get the Trumps of the world, and it's just one of those things that being here in mainland China and seeing what I see, living the life here as an expat, knowing that this is probably one of the safest places in the world because they have the laws that they do. And then you get a place that has, one city has 3,000 frickin' shootings a year in Chicago and stuff like that. And then they're trying to tell somebody like China that they can't do and protect the people of their country. I call bullshit on that, and but I'll leave it at that. And that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. don't forget to hit the bell. Don't forget to resubscribe, and never ever forget to put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. It's for poor rural Chinese children. They just need a helping hand. We can help them. Help me help them. Thanks for watching. Oh, and my phone is ringing, so I gotta go, guys. Bye now.